Hello everybody, thank you for joining me. Today we're going to finish up a card that we started before by putting something kind of fun in the inside of the card. So let's get started. We're using the Taco Fiesta stamp set, which I've introduced before, so you should be familiar with it. So I'll put that aside. Here's the card that we made. We used all those fun characters on the front, a fancy festive design of designer paper, and now we're going to work on the inside. We want it to be a little festive too. So here is the plain piece of white that I cut to put on the inside. So I want to make it a little more festive across the bottom. The way we'll do that is first I have a piece of scratch paper. Now this is a sort of a lightweight cardstock paper that I had on hand. You could even use typing paper if you want to. And then I cut lots of fun strips, about a ½ inch wide strips of cardstock from that Designer Series paper pack that I used for the card. And I cut this in 1½ inches and the length at least as long as where I wanted to put it. And I made it 1½ inches wide because I'm planning on making 3 cards and I wanted to use this on the inside of all of them. So if you're going to make more cards, you could make this longer and put your strips of paper on it. So let me get started and show you what I mean. First I'm going to put some glue on this scratch paper or cardstock that I have. And I'm going to start by putting my Designer Series paper strips right across the top and along the edge. And then I'm going to put more on and try and keep them all straight. Cover up the whole thing. I don't want to see any of that paper underneath. Then keep adding glue as I need to, and I'm going to, while it's not sticky, I'm going to flip it over and trim off some of these pieces because I could maybe use them again as I get further down. And you can feel free to put as many different designs as you want to, just depending on what you have available. And you can use various widths too if you want. Really have lots of choices with this type of thing. Okay, see now when I look at the back, it's easy to see where I need to trim it off to make it straight. Cut off the excess. Okay, so now I have this nice piece of striped paper, and I'm going to get my paper cutter out. And this is 1.5 inches wide, and I want to use it for 3 cards. So I'm going to cut off 1/2 inch. So I'll line it up at 1 inch. Cut off that piece. Now save this for my other 2 cards that I'm going to make. Put this one on here. Okay. So I'm going to just stick it down. And trim off the edges. Now it's ready to put on the inside of my card. So, what do you think? Doesn't that add a lot of pizzazz to the inside? They'll get that, they'll get their happy birthday greeting, and then whatever you write to them will look even more special when they see that bottom fanciness. So, I just wanted to share that with you, and while you're here, I'll show you another design where I did that, and here's what I did with this one. I made a whole sheet with the striped colors, and then I used my die, stitched rectangle die, to cut out this piece to put on my card base. Then the scrap that was left I used to make a stripe on the inside of the card, this card. So you could also kind of incorporate the two, the same idea on the front and the inside of your card. But let me share with you a few more cards made with the Taco Fiesta set. Here's one where I use the greeting that says, "You're not your average friend." And I used the stripes of designer series paper as a background going at an angle. Then I decided to try it in different colors, and instead of going at an angle, going up and down, and came up with that one. Little different color scheme than you're used to for the Fiesta theme. Then I wanted to do one where I highlighted the piñata, and I used the greeting that says spectacular. So I put a bunch of tacos in the background. So there's some more ideas. Oh, here's another one I used using the mini slimline version and the greeting that says, "You spice up my life." And I used just one piece of the designer series paper to put across the bottom of it to kind of tie in with this one. So thanks again for joining me. I appreciate you staying tuned in. And if you have any questions about any of the cards, just give me an email or a phone call and I will answer your questions. So thanks again. See you soon. Bye-bye.